Later, Duncan and Proteus were having an argument. They were about to go on one another's other line when suddenly they crashed into one another. And they were all derailed. Because they crashed into one another. "I was here first," said Duncan. "But you were in my way," protested Proteus. "You'll have to back up again." "I won't." "You will." "You will." "I won't." And so the Fat Controller came to stop the noise. "If you two don't behave, I will not allow to hear you again. I will not allow to be hearing you two again." Just then, the next day, Proteus was still grumpy, and he said this to Dennis. "That Duncan," he said, him on my way. He's a really silly engine." "Well, you and him should have been friends," said Dennis. "Huh," grumbled Proteus, and he did not know why, and he was still grumpy once again. They were blaming one another about each other all day. And they were blaming themselves about one another all day. And still they were sent to the sheds. "You two disappointed me," he said. "We're sorry," said the two narrow gauge engines, and they went to the sheds in disgrace to think about how silly they were today. Gordon thought so too. "You have made us clumsy," he said. "We know," said the two narrow gauge engines, "and still Thomas, Fergus and Stanley are missing." "I know," said Gordon, and we are still not thinking why." And all the engines agreed, except Dennis, who didn't know why. While they were going, Thomas, Fergus and Stanley were travelling along their journey to find Molly. We haven't got much time," said Thomas. "We must rest," said Fergus and Stanley, because they haven't got all day. So they went through the Grand Canyon, through the mountains, through the tunnels and bridges, and all everywhere to find Molly. And still they were a little bit exhausted while they were ready to go. "We'll rest here until it's night time," said Stanley. "We should," said Fergus, and so the four engines agreed, so that they will still catch up with Molly about now.